Can you give me a way of linking the solidity of the crystallizing with the ethics that you subscribe to?
Can you expand on that a little bit so I understand the question a bit more?
I guess I'm trying to figure out the process of integration and how your ethics ties into how that emerges out of that, how the ethics that you've come to follow emerges out of your this
Right.
dialectical way of thinking.
Okay, so one paradox, in fact, so this is great because I actually, my film school is called the Paradox Film School of Acting. And that's not a plug. I mean, I can only take 6 students at a time. But the teaching, being in that environment allows me to be able to teach my paradoxes to students, but also discover new ones. So that's one way that that's been happening. But to answer your question, I bring that up because recently I taught them about the freedom of constraint paradox, which is the idea that freedom as we think of it as liberation can lead to a higher constraint that's unwanted or undesirable. You do need a certain amount of structure or constraint to be able to live your life within the area that constraint defines, so that you have a certain amount of freedoms. Freedom and constraint might appear as paradoxical, but in a way it is, and in a way it isn't. And so when I go out and I live my life, I think to myself, okay, there are certain things that I want to be free of in terms of limitations. Financial constrictions, for example, is a big one. We all want to have a certain amount of money to be able to do what we want to do. But at the same time, if I am restricted or constrained, I think about it, well, how does that bring me freedom? Okay, so if I don't have the money for this equipment, what can I do? So just the great example is at last minute, I have to shoot tomorrow. And I didn't have a proper shotgun mic, and this is a really cinematic scene, so I can't put lav mics on my actors. So I was thinking, okay, I have a podcast mic. Can I use that somehow? So the freedom there would be creativity. Lack of resources brings me freedom to be creative. So that's a more concrete example.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
Just to reframe that a little bit, because what I hear when you're talking about what you called it paradoxical, the relationship between freedom and constraint, I would think of that more as a tension, and it's a creative tension, as you said, and in a similar way as to a bowstring, like the string itself, it doesn't achieve anything. It's stretching that string between two opposing forces. That's how you get that momentum that moves things forward.